So what are we doing, Zach?
We just are gonna make a worm compost bin out of this, and we're just gonna drill some holes for air and some for drainage. This is an old tote that we already had because we have a lot of food waste and we're sick of just like putting it in the trash or like putting it down the garbage disposal.
And we've been composting outside, but
It's way slower for us because we don't have a lot of yard waste. Like we have very little grass clippings, or we don't have any trees or anything to create the brown, I guess, like the dead leaves.
we eat a lot of plants, and so in that we have like a lot of scraps, and we want to compost it, especially because it's great for your garden. It's just great all around. Zach was doing some research, and it looks like having a worm farm, little worm compost, is just a quicker way to go about it because they create such incredible compost, basically. And it's way faster, apparently, than traditional composting, at least in our situation,
Yeah.
because we don't have all
It
of that.
should be. I don't know. Like, we'll see. We'll let you know if it is or not. But like every time we've ever done compost, I don't know if it's because we have our ratios wrong. Whatever the ratios are, ours are clearly not correct. We don't turn it nearly enough, or like.
Well, and our big thing was that we don't want to buy a like $200 compost bin because we just feel like
Because the worms are like $30.
the worms are $30. It's
so.
more natural, not more natural, but it's just kind of cool anyways. And there's no real downside to it. They kind of just do their own thing.
So we bought 2,000 worms, and apparently they breed really fast. So like every month, like you'll have another 1,000 worms. They'll either like self-regulate their population based on how much food and like space you give them, or you can keep like expanding the amount of worms that you have. You can put them out in your garden or whatever.
So it's going to be pretty neat. We bought them from Uncle Jim's Worm Farm. I will have everything linked in the description of this video if you guys are interested. This is an old tote we had, so we don't have to buy a compost bin.
And I've seen like maybe like 10 videos, and everyone does it different. It doesn't appear to matter like at all. Poke some holes, and like the main important thing is that you have enough bedding for the worms, and that your bedding isn't either too wet or too dry. But like the amount of holes and like where they're at, as long as you have enough, it doesn't look like it matters. Worm bin.
Saving all this paper?
Yeah.
You're so cute.
Why?
Why are you so cute? Because for the last however long you've just been saving paper without my knowledge for this exact purpose, like a precious sweet angel.
You're pretty oblivious. It's like right here.
Well, I just thought it was recycling. Yeah, paper shredder would be cool.
You're like, yeah, this is something new, and then one piece of paper later, you're like, yeah, this sucks.
This would be a good task if we had kids.
Yeah.
Okay, kids, rip up all the paper.
That's cheaper than buying a paper shredder.
Just having kids
Yeah.
for the next rest of our
Feeding
life.
kids and educating them.
This is fun. You know, I have a really skewed version of fun.
Yeah.
Are we mixing this in with
Yeah,
that?
why not? I think kids would actually enjoy this.
Oh yeah, Avery would love this.
Well, where is she?
I don't know. Probably at home. Actually, the paper is absorbing a lot of it. So do you have to spray it every day?
No, like we're putting food in it pretty regularly, probably like every two or 3 days. Will be whenever they eat it, basically. It's like whenever the other stuff looks like it's broken down, then we'll add more. And then, like just from the food alone, it creates a liquid. Yeah, it should hold its weight. They're worms. You can overthink it.
Yeah, but now that we are their parents, it's become a thing. So.
Yeah, but
I overthink everything, Zach.
I know.
You knew this about me when you married me.
It's not too moist, I don't think.
No, it says you want it to be as moist as a sponge after you've wrung it out.
Yeah.
Which is what that kind of feels like to me.
Yeah, you don't want it to drip when you pick it up.
Is that enough for that?
Yep. You don't want it to be too much. Like, you don't want it to be too much dirt in the bottom because you're going to be adding to it and then it's going to start building up really fast.
True. Careful, don't dump them too high.
Almost every kind of fruit and vegetable.
Killer. And they'll make their way over there.
They'll be making their way downtown.
Walking fast.
And the place is past.
And I'm homebound. An angel! Look at them! He's so cute! They're already going up the side.
Yeah, they should go do this.
You think that's good?
That's perfect.
Yay, worm farm! All right, this is the second time we are feeding the worms, and Zach's got some
apple, and then we let some avocados go a little bit too long, and some raspberries and tomato.
killer.
So I think they ate most everything else that we put in here, except for
Radish.
They ate the radish greens. I don't think they really like them, but I don't really know because I'm not a worm.
Hey, I'm just a worm.
I'm just gonna put it all.
That's fine. So worst that could happen?
I don't know. We'll check on this in like, what, 2 days? 3 days?
Yeah.
Let's see how far they've decomposed it.
Killer. Still nice and moist in there?
Yeah, it's pretty moist.
What are you doing, little mom? What are you doing out here? All right, so a little update on our worms. It is exactly 2 weeks since we started everything. You can see that we fed them, I think like yesterday. We had a whole bunch of radishes that they just never grew. As you can tell, they all kind of stayed like that. And so instead of just dumping them, we thought we'd throw them in here and see what the worms would do. Everybody's doing good. If you dig down and look, everybody looks really healthy. And if you guys are going to be doing this, or if you're interested, obviously do your own research as well, but you're going to want to keep this in a cool place. Obviously the worms like the dark, like I showed before, and they're going to stay down. They want to dig down into the dirt, which is why I saw that tip online that you can shine a light on them and then they'll dig down, which did work. But you'll want to keep them in a cool place as well. That's something that's really important. I believe the temperatures are 45 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. You want to keep it somewhere in there because if they get too hot, they can die. So just make sure you're paying attention to where they're kept. We keep ours over here on the side porch because it gets very minimal sun. It's been perfectly fine having them out here. They've done really well. It seems like we have too many food scraps for them. We thought we would have just about enough, but frankly, we could have double this amount of worms and still be good. So we're probably going to either take half of them and like put them in another bin and try to grow that population, or we're going to just get more worms and have a second bin because we're so shocked at just how many food scraps we actually do have. Having them is the most low maintenance thing in the entire world. Like, it is so low maintenance, it's not a thing at all. If you've been considering it and think it's going to be too much, it absolutely isn't. They kind of acclimate, from what I understand, to the amount of food that they are getting, so they're not going to like overly populate if you don't have enough food for them. Really easy to keep, super low maintenance. Everything's been really good so far. There's a few foods that they don't want. I would definitely look that up. From what I understand, that's like onions, garlic, peppers, citrus. There's certain things that like they just seem to not prefer from what we've been reading. It's also better if you have like previously cut up food. If you put whole foods in there, like Zack put a couple of whole apples in there and they seemed to kind of struggle to get in there. So probably best if you cut the foods up, or you can even blend them up or chop them up roughly and then put them in there, and it's a lot easier. Here comes Douglas. This is not our cat, but he comes here like he lives here. Come here, Douglas. Come on, buddy. Hi. Buddy. He comes here and visits all the time, and he's not our kitty. He just thinks he is. He's so silly. His owners must have cut his hair because his face used to be super long. You can tell how long his tail fur is. His face hair, he used to have like a really long beard, and then when he showed up today, he looks silly. Douglas, Dougie, look, he looks silly. He looks silly, but he's so sweet. He lives like 4 blocks away, and he runs over here and hangs out. This is Kitty. This is also not our cat. This kitty comes over here and just eats. She's the neighbor's kitty. She's 17 years old. She has thyroid disease, and she comes over here because our food apparently tastes better. Hi, you're such a little old lady. You remind me so much of Snickers.
Oh, yes. You remind me so much of Snicky Doo.
Okay, absolutely relax. It's just Douglas. We keep the cat tower outside so they have somewhere to hang out, and he thinks it's his. Huh, buddy? So, yeah, that's the worm bin, you guys. It's really super easy. His ears curl. Can I see how his ears, like, flip inward? God, he's cute. Okay, everybody happy now? Jiminy Christmas. Just look up everything about it. It's pretty self-explanatory. Once you get going, it just kind of sustains itself. We haven't had any issues so far. So let us know if you guys have ever tried one, if you're interested, and hopefully you guys like this video. If you did, please leave a comment down below. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will see you in the next one. Bye! Oh, and then there's these guys. There's these guys.
They act like they never get food. Look how fat they are.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at this boy. Look at him.
He's a big boy, and she's a big fat girl.